Story 1. MIL suggested I lose 10 kilograms and threw a fit when I said that was inappropriate. My ML has unfortunately graduated from a mildly no to a just no with her suggestion that I compete with her to lose 10 kilograms. Background. My ML has always exhibited mildly no tendencies. She is hypersensitive and plays the victim when I fail to meet her unreasonable expectations for our relationship. I'll include 2 brief examples to paint the picture. Pancake Gate. MIL texted about my pancake preferences for a meal we were having later that day. I responded 4 hours later, still well in advance of the meal. She immediately accused me of being angry, claiming she'd worried all day about what she'd done wrong. When I explained I was just busy, she demanded that, in the future, I either respond immediately or inform her of when I'd be available to respond. You'll note that still requires an immediate response, LOL. My DH and I explained that I'm not available at her beck and call, and that future requests should go through DH and not me. Mail Gate. Another time, while heading to a dinner reservation, DH needed to quickly collect mail from his parents' house. I stayed in the car while he grabbed the mail. But what should have been a 30-second stop became a 5-minute stop because his ML wanted to show off her new bathroom renovations. The next day, I received a lengthy text from MIL expressing how hurt she was that I'd evidently rather play on my phone than come inside to chat with her. She claimed she had to distance herself emotionally from me and that my behavior didn't contribute to the happy relationship she desired with me. Current situation. Recently, MIL crossed firmly into JN territory with a text proposing that she and I compete to lose 10 kilograms, 22 pounds, as a fun way to motivate her to healthy eating. This request was offensive and inappropriate on multiple levels. I have never discussed my health, body, fitness, weight, or food/diet preferences with her or in her presence. Because she is a mildly no, we do not have a close enough relationship for her to ask something that personal from me. While I could healthily lose 5 to 10 pounds at most, losing 22 pounds would be extreme and harmful for me. When I told her this request was inappropriate, she responded with, "Wow, okay," and unleashed a laundry list of grievances she has, including a list of supposed rules I've imposed. No hugging when greeting, no reading the same book at her, no watching TV with her while DH is at work, we do not live together, no grabbing coffee together. She also accused me of hating her and expressed a desire for an open, honest, and caring relationship. These rules are her interpretation of the one time I declined each of the listed invitations. For instance, I once explained that I'm not a hugger and don't even hug my own family, so I'm not keen to hug her every time I see her. Notably, she doesn't even hug her own son when they visit, yet she takes offense that I don't want to hug her. I've also told her that I don't read recreationally, so I haven't yet read the book she gave me for my birthday. Apparently, that means that I have a rule that I refuse to read the same books as her. DH attempted to arrange a meeting between the 3 of us to discuss these issues. She wanted FIL excluded because she didn't want him to know what she had said or done. Unfortunately, ML opted to cancel the meeting last minute, claiming she needed to guard her heart, and she wasn't up for facing the music. She hoped our hearts would heal and that we'd forgive her thoughtlessness, which she blamed on a migraine and the lack of ADD drugs. I said that I would be taking a break from this relationship and offered April as the next opportunity to discuss. Her response? She doesn't know how to fix this. The solution being obvious enough: meet and have the open, honest discussion she claims to want. MIL clearly desires a one-on-one friendship, but we lack the common ground for such a relationship. Our interests, values, and experiences don't align, and our personalities clash. I find every interaction with her exhausting and draining. Moving forward, I need to clearly communicate that our relationship exists through DH, and our interactions will be limited to family events where he's also present. I don't think I need any advice at this time, but hearing about your similar experiences would be therapeutic. Comment 1. She wanted FIL excluded because she didn't want him to know what she had said or done. It sounds like tattling to FIL will help keep her in check. Comment 2. What she wants is not a relationship. What she wants is a made-up version of you to behave exactly as she dictates and for you to not have any agency. Folks who aren't able to understand that other humans are whole human beings in their own right don't make friends, they take hostages. So sorry, Opie, she sounds JNAF. Comment 3. Well, you won the contest because you just dropped more than 10 kilograms. Story 2. They ruined our daughter's first birthday party. I've typed this out 3 different times now, but kept deleting it. It's been 2 weeks, and I'm still irate over this whole situation. I would say I'll try to keep this short, but there's so much to say, so I apologize in advance, and thank you to anyone who reads until the end. I've posted here a lot, and y'all have been great with giving advice and being there to listen. The future in-laws have struck again, though. This time, it was our daughter's first birthday party. She turned 1 on Valentine's Day, so we had her party the next day, which happened to be my birthday. We had been planning it since the beginning of December and sent out invitations after the first of the year. We sent them through text and on Facebook events to family and friends. It is important to note that the invitations said where the party was, with the address, the time it started 2 p.m., to RSVP to my phone number by February 8th. We asked for an RSVP from everyone so we could have enough food, and I put my number down just so my fiancé didn't have to relay people's answers to me. A couple days after I sent the invites, my future sister-in-law texted my fiancé that her and her 3 kids would be there. We aren't really on speaking terms with her, for reasons that I have posted before. Her texting him irritated me, but I just kind of let it go. Fast forward to 2 days before the party, and we hadn't heard a peep from MIL. My fiancé texted her, and she said, of course we're going its daughter's name, as first birthday. My fiancé told her we weren't sure, because we hadn't heard anything, and she just said something about being busy. I never got a message from her, though. Moving to our daughter's actual birth date, MIL texted my fiancé to tell our daughter happy birthday. So, he replied and asked if she could also text me, which she did. Later that evening, we realized that she never called to actually talk to us or our daughter, which really upset my fiancé. Now, normally I wouldn't care much, because she's not really involved anyway. But she goes out of her way to tell my fiancé, who is almost 27, when to call people for their birthdays. The day of the party, we were running around like crazy trying to finish cleaning and setting up the decorations and food. I'm a very type of person, so my OCD and controlling behavior came out full force. I was also super stressed about the future in-laws coming, that I was making myself physically ill. It was time to start the party at this point, 2 p.m., if you'll remember, and almost everyone was there. My fiancé's grandparents and aunt were there on time, as were all of my family members. We had planned to mingle for a bit, then start presents at 2:30, with cake following, so the party could be over around 4 o'clock. We still hadn't seen or heard from MIL, FIL, or SL by 2:30, and my fiancé was getting irritated. His grandparents were also getting annoyed by this point. So, fiancé called his mom to ask where they were. She said, "We're about 20 miles away. We don't have your address." He told her what it was, and she hung up. Lo and behold, they didn't show up until 3:00 p.m., a whole hour after the party started. We hadn't started presents or anything yet because we were waiting for them. When they arrived, I didn't even know until 10 minutes after, when we started opening gifts. They didn't say hello to me, our daughter, or any other guests. My fiancé had to practically drag them into the garage where we were doing gifts. I need to point out that Estelle showed up wearing Daisy Dukes. While we opened presents, everyone was involved in cheering our daughter on and laughing with us, except for MIL, SIL, and FL. We got to the cake, and everyone sang. Once our daughter started eating her cake, the in-laws disappeared. My fiancé went to look for them, and they were actively leaving, no warning, no goodbye. His sister told him they had other obligations and left. Then, his mom came back, found him, and got mad that he didn't follow them to the car to say goodbye. I need to add that at this point, they still hadn't said a word to me or our daughter. After they left, it was only my family, after his grandparents left, and they all asked what was wrong. Apparently, as soon as the in-laws arrived, both my fiancé and I got noticeably tense and rigid. They said we became stiff and stale and pale. We then opened a sentimental gift with our daughter from my late great-grandmother, and we cried. She just passed in December. We also, at this point, were able to open Valentine's gifts and my birthday gifts. The in-laws gave me a birthday card with my name spelled incorrectly on the envelope. After the party, my fiancé was visibly defeated and quiet, which is not like him at all. He told me that his mom came up to him and berated him for not sending photos of our daughter and told him she was going to take some for herself. She told him that they only saw her 5 times last year and got onto him about that. He tried to give his dad a tour of the house because we just bought it and he hadn't been there, and his dad wasn't interested at all. During the party, SL's youngest, 3, kept getting into the dogs' faces with a balloon after we told him to stop and almost got bit. The following day, ML texted my fiancé and said they were told by his aunt, a truly wonderful woman, that it was rude of them to be an hour late and to only stay for 30 minutes. ML told my fiancé that they thought the party started at 3 p.m. and that life has been busy, so she didn't remember the time. He didn't respond. Then, the next day, FL called my fiancé and told him the same thing. Except, he added that since I sent the invitation through text, it didn't actually count as an invite because they couldn't put it on their fridge. So, he blamed us for them not showing up on time. I think it's safe to say that this was a breaking point for sure. I've been over their crap for over a year, but I think this whole situation was eye-opening for my fiancé. We're at the point where we don't even want them in the wedding. They can just be guests, if that. I'm just sick of all of it, honestly. Comment 1. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Maya Angelou. Comment 2. They are absolutely terrible. Never invite them again. Comment 3. I would never have waited for anyone that was late to my kid's birthday. Story 3. Stalemate with ML over holding newborn. 25 FFTM here. LO was born a month ago prematurely at 36 weeks via emergency C-section. We're doing our absolute best to make sure the delicate ecosystem that is our circle of just us is being maintained. So 26M, and I have allowed visitors, but we're not allowing anyone to hold her as there's just too much respiratory illness BS happening and going around to risk it. So and I have been in this weird stalemate with ML for the past week. ML has been chomping at the bit to hold LO, and I'm just not ready for anyone aside from us to do that for several reasons, which thankfully So understands and agrees. So is able to stand up to his parents. It just makes him incredibly uncomfortable, cause trauma from his mom, and she's the type to do the whole, "You're no longer in my good graces, prepare to be cut out" BS if pushed too far. So already flexed a shiny spine when we were leaving the hospital with LO. His parents came to help us pack up / take everything to her car. I couldn't help because I was experiencing the spinal pressure headaches the first week after delivery, so I couldn't be up / moving around as much as I wanted to be, or else my head would start hurting like hell. Anyways, MIL stayed in hospital room with me and LO while FL and So was taking our stuff to the car. FL told So, "You better let your mom hold that baby." So straight up told him no. Fast forward 2 weeks after delivery, we've been home and are still getting settled / adjusted to new life with LO. In-laws have been over a handful of times when we initially got home, which I was hesitant at first, but So did need help as I couldn't be up and moving around because of C-section recovery, so I held LO and watched over her when in-laws were over. LOL. 2 weeks on the dot of being home, that night ML texts So, "When do we get to hold our granddaughter?" Here's some background as to why her texting, so this really upset me. To clarify, LO is not her first grandchild. SO's brother and his wife have 3-year-old twins. They were born prematurely at 34-ish weeks, and she tormented my SL through that pregnancy, postpartum experience, and subsequent baby years than from what I've experienced so far. Estelle went through absolute hell while I've only stubbed a toe in figuratively dealing with MIL. It's like MIL's learned yet not learned her lesson in disrespecting boundaries. She guilt-tripped my SL to bring her premature newborn over on Christmas Eve and got absolutely meltdown upset that SL wouldn't let her hold nephew and kept him in his car seat the entire visit when she wasn't holding him and wouldn't give him to ML. Crying cause she just wants to bond with her grandbabies. And I've heard her Freudian slip refer to the twins as her babies when they were still infants, so I knew the bullshit I was getting into when I became pregnant with LO. Secondly, my parents refused to get the TAP vaccine so they could hold LO before she gets her shots. My dad is anti-vax and my stepmom is afraid of needles, so she refuses to get shots unless absolutely necessary. ML views everything as a competition with the other set of grandparents. I watched it happen with Estel's parents with the twins, and I want to keep things as fair as possible with my parents and ILs. When I was pregnant and my parents told me they wouldn't get the TAP shot, I told them they wouldn't hold LO until she's fully vaccinated. It caused a rough patch with them, and it majorly upset me. And the inevitable conversation on what ML is demanding falls into that upsetting me as well. To be honest, because of her competitive BS, I wanted my parents to hold LO first. Yet so, and I have already drawn the line with my parents, and they're rational people though. They are respecting our boundaries. SL has found her groove with working out her stuff and communicating with MIL, so I've been heavily talking with her on advice, and she told me to take the initiative and address ML's question on holding LO instead of ignoring it, which is what So wanted to do, which if we did that ML would keep pushing and it'd only further upset us. So I did just that when she texted us that night. Here's how the conversation went. Me: hey, I saw your text to So and wanted to answer so you understand where I'm coming from. As of right now, we're still not allowing any holding, but we're going to consult with pediatrician at LO's April appointment for when it's best as her immune system is still very vulnerable, and at that appointment she'll start her vaccines. I understand you want to bond with her, but this is a very sensitive time, and with the amount of respiratory illnesses going around right now, we don't want to risk it. As her pediatrician also told us, this first several months are hibernation time and to stay in and not go out. And to be honest, the whole topic of when grandparents can hold her is very upsetting for me, as my parents will not get the TAP vaccine. We said you'd have to be able to hold her before she's fully vaccinated. So they're not going to be able to hold her until she's 6 months old. I'm just wanting everything to be fair for everyone, and I hope you can understand. MIL, I understand your concerns. Wait, so are you saying that we also have to wait until she is 6 months old because they won't get a shot? Me: we haven't decided, but we don't want to answer without consulting our pediatrician first, which is why I said we were going to consult him at the April appointment. MIL, good night, I have no words. So MIL jumped to conclusions and think they're having to wait until LO is 6 months old, when I basically said, as of right, wait until April when we talk to pediatrician. I literally only mentioned the vaccine thing and 6-month thing because I was sharing how much the topic is upsetting for me, which is my way of saying don't bring it up again until we're ready. Pretty much the entire consensus everyone, cause everyone in SO's direct family knows about it at this point, agrees on is yes, it sucks my parents aren't being fair and IL shouldn't be punished for what my parents are doing. But we've set the boundary and they have to respect it, and how ML reacted is not the case and is disrespectful to us as parents. I learned through SIL that FL is pissed at how ML reacted and responded. So we're at a stalemate. It's been a week and they haven't talked to us, which fine, that's been the norm, but we know it's different. So sends pics of LO to family group chat and they'll heart react it, but FIL and MIL are no longer asking us how LO is doing or commenting on her pics. Meanwhile, they'll comment and acknowledge SIL's kid pics/videos all day. FIL and So have been texting on off this week about when he's coming with a replacement part for our crib, in which I found out FIL, not sure about MIL, is coming over this weekend. Me communicating my feelings to MIL was a huge step for me, cause typically So and I would shove our feelings down and not communicate, and I'm trying to not go through what my SL went through, as she and BIL did the same, and they went through hell for 3 years. Through SIL, I learned MIL said she knew she shouldn't have said that, and that she's just not going to text about it anymore. Which tells me she's not going to apologize over text to us, but I doubt she'd apologize at all, cause she's too prideful and will never admit she's wrong to the person she wronged. So yeah, that's where we're at. SL agrees that the ball is in MIL's court, but I guess it'll be handled this weekend if she comes over with FIL to replace the crib part. We shall see. So when I have agreed on stance, I told MIL, it's not my parents to blame. We did not say 6 months. The answer I gave her was wait until April after we talked to pediatrician. Comment 1. In your MIL's defense, your text seems to imply that she can't hold her until your parents can hold her. Comment 2. She's being annoying, but your parents are choosing to not get vaccinated. That's not your MIL's fault. Don't punish her because your parents make poor choices. That's too far. Comment 3. You gave way too much information to her. Simply stating, we'll discuss this with her pediatrician at her next checkup, and then and I will decide would have been enough. I can absolutely see why she was trying to clarify. It was a word salad. Comment 4. To be honest, your wording was confusing. I think you need to clarify that as soon as the pediatrician gives the green light, they may hold the baby. Your parents may not hold the baby until it is vaccinated. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.